So now you're here again, knocking at my door.
Hi guys, welcome to the IPG Rentals Show. My name is Chris Beamer, and I did say that right. This is the show because we're actually using our new board back in the back. You saw it on the spy cam to actually cut this thing together live, so we didn't really take it to post. So what you're seeing is actual live cuts in the background. We wanted to give it a try and see how we do on it. So that's how we're cutting the show today. So what I have in front of me right now is the GVM, the Great Video Maker 800D RGB light panel. We're going to go into great detail with this, this awesome little scene setter. Let's check it out. Okay, so there have been many occasions when you want to do an interview, when you want to pop a color. And I think it's fantastic, especially if you want to see maybe a little on somebody's face, a little on some some background. First thing you think of is before the big sky panels and before the multicolored panels, you would get a Fresnel light. You would put a gel on it. You would put some diffusion on it, plug it in. You'd have to dim it down. That would change the color temperature because the bulb would get even warmer. So it became a bit of an issue, and it got very, very hot. This kind of takes care of that, especially since there's no kind of heat coming out of it. A little warm, but anybody who knows, who's put their hand on a Fresnel light after 5 minutes, knows that you might not have fingerprints anymore after that. So this, like I said, is a great little pop of color, great scene setter, and you can see we have a big background in the back, and there are two lights. One's off screen that direction, and they're lighting this background fully. So let's go right into it. You can see on the back here, it does have a digital menu, so it's not just dial based. You can see that there are two battery inputs right here for the Sony NP batteries. Just a quick tip though, you do need to put both on at once. You can't hot swap them, it can't run on just one battery, so you're going to need two at one time. So there's going to be a few different modes here, and you can see right now it's on the rotate mode. There is slave, master, Wi-Fi. So we're going to go through all of those. Right now, let's go ahead and start on just the master. And on the master, you're going to have the ability to go your brightness, you have your color temperature, and you have your channel and your mode, which is master. That being, I'll get into that in just a little bit because we have another light panel just off screen, so we're going to go ahead and use master slave mode to show that you can control both at one time. So pretty simple here. You see that we have the intensity can go up and down from 0 to 100%, and your color temperature can go from 3200 all the way to 5600. So there's that. I'm actually going to do this slave and master mode last, so before I go ahead and jump into that. So let's go ahead, and before I go into Wi-Fi, I'll go into the rotate mode. Now to go into the rotate mode, you can see that before I hit this button in, it's just standard 3200 to 5600 in your brightness. Now the second I hit that button in, boom, we got a color. And you can see that it says hue right here. So you can see as I turn this, it starts giving different hues. It goes all the way to 350. And there's a fantastic amount of colors to kind of choose from here. 355, then we get to 0. Now on top of that, let me go ahead and just go to like a little magenta action going on here. If you pop this in again, you have your saturation this time around. So you have a certain color, and then you're talking about saturation. Now, quick disclaimer, it's good. The saturation level is good. It kind of gets a little hairy when you start getting out because, you're starting off at a pure magenta there, and then you go to like a cyan light color. So that, immediately, kind of coming off, and then you end up at 0% saturation at like a light cyan. So it's not quite a definite saturation, and when you get into more pronounced colors, the saturation gets better, but it's fine. It's fine to do it like that, but I would just adjust the brightness if you're talking about doing this, because look, at a brightness level, you're talking about still having your magenta in there just at a lower level. So saturation's okay, but again, probably just do brightness instead. So we're coming out, and we're going to go to hue right here. The CCT is just your standard color temperature, which I went through before. Hue right there. So let's go ahead and jump out of this now. We're going to go into the Wi-Fi mode, and yes, you guessed it, you can use your phone. So I'm going to go ahead. First thing you do is you're going to jump in. When you're on Wi-Fi mode, it'll give you a pre-made name for the panel itself. It'll give you a password to put in. Then you can change it to whatever you want to change it to. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump on this really quick. And there's panel 1. You can see panel 1 is loading right there. Boom. So we are connected. Let me just jump in. GVM. Now, you can see that when I'm like this, you can actually rotate it just like so. Find whatever hue you're looking for. You can actually turn the panel off physically as well. You can actually do everything in here, by the way, that you can do on these 3 menus. I say 3 menus because the Wi-Fi one, the slave and the master get a little confused here. Whenever I'm on the channel 1, you can do channel 1 or channel 2 over here. But the only problem is sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's really not a huge deal to have to walk over there and kind of change it. But that's the only little flub that I see in the app. But see, when I go back here, you can actually, when you hit the color temperature from 32 to 56, that takes away the hue. And then when you go to color pure, that brings the hue back. Color pure is just the saturation, and then brightness is going to be brightness. So you can control it straight from here. Whatever, whatever floats your boat. If you want to do it, on the back of this. If you don't, it's completely fine. So that takes care of it. Now you can do your channels, and again, they get a little hairy. Sometimes they don't respond through the app. So my suggestion is just do it off the back of the panel. But otherwise, the app is perfectly fine for whatever it is that you need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Take you into the slave and master mode. And Eli's just sitting off screen right now. Eli, would you mind throwing that onto slave for me? So right now, I am on the master. Eli, are we on channel 1?
Yes.
All right, we are on channel 1. Okay. So you can see with slave and master, we can go ahead and change, and you can see the other one is changing with me as well. A little delayed, but it will get there. You can see we're down to 0 on both, and we have nothing going on back there. And boom, we're coming on. So they match up pretty well. And again, you can do your hue, and you see that it's changing it with me as well. And your brightness, so let's go ahead and go to a hundo. And it'll get there again, so it's just a little delay. It's going through a signal, so there's just a little bit of a delay on it. And then you have up to, let's take a look here, actually, I'm not sure. You have up to channels. You have up to, let's go down. You have up to 11 channels to choose from, so that's actually pretty darn cool. If you want to do a certain, set of lights that's specifically blue, 2 lights that are blue, 2 lights that are, magenta, however you want to do it, it's completely up to you. So like I was saying before, they pack a decent punch. Obviously, bigger panels are gonna put more in. But if you want something that just gets a nice little scene setter, a nice little hit on a piece of furniture or locker or something like that, these are definitely the way to go. It's a lot of really good usability in a very little package. So those are the GVM 800D RGB light panels. So at IPGrentals.com, we want you to feel confident with the gear that we rent, and so we constantly update the repertoire of videos with tips and tricks to help you get through your production with quality and with a great amount of awesomeness. So please like, comment, subscribe, and remember, it's our gear is your vision. IPGrentals.com.